Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, or see them yopo.
Yeah. Say the minority in parliament should not dare call for secret ballot on any issue again. They will lose every election in parliament going forward.
Well, he knows what they have done behind the scenes, who they are talking to, and all of that.
Concession.
All I would say, Doc, is that we need to be mindful that beyond personal decisions and personal accountability is also collective responsibility and the brand, the corporate brand of our party. My greatest disappointment in all of this is that these are not decisions that we just, on the spur of the moment or at various media houses, articulated. We had sessions as a caucus, and we agreed unanimously that this is what we are going to do. I don't want to even list the respected Ghanaians who met with us and encouraged us to maintain our position before we went into the secret vote last week. So the question is, those MPs who departed from our collective position, why is it that in all of these sessions, this caucusing we did, at no point did they rise up to protest, to say that we disagree with you? Because this is a democratic process. Let your voice be heard. Let's know that you are not aligned with the decision of the majority. Then we could have had some discussion. If we realized that we didn't have the collective agreement, we were not all on board, we were not all on the same page, we would not have given these assurances to the Ghanaian public. So, what do you call this? Treachery. That's what it is, treachery. And now we have a situation where the corporate image of our party has suffered such a mortal wound. Now people don't believe what we say. They don't take our assurances seriously. And that's why I said in my write-up that the damage that these traitors have done is going to take us decades to repair, if ever it will be repaired. And now see all the taunting going on, and majority chief whip saying that we shouldn't dare bring any matter for a secret vote. And you see, that's what I always say about the MPP. They will expose anything they do with you, any pact they have with you. They will expose it. They can't help themselves. So how do we feel now, seeing our colleagues on the other side make these revelations? I am also particularly horrified that so far, look at the numbers involved. More than 30. Not one person has come public to say, I'm one of those who voted against, and these are my reasons. I did it in the national interest. I am convinced that what I did will help our country.
The votes have spoken.
I agree with President Akufo-Addo's continuous expansion of government, his obese government, the wastage of scarce resources, even in these times of economic crisis. Where are they? Why are they hiding? They should come out of the rat holes and defend. That's what happens everywhere. In all parliaments across, when people vote in a particular, they come out and defend. That's why some people are beginning to even argue that let's adopt other jurisdictions where there's nothing like a secret vote and your vote is public, the records are there, your constituents can know how you voted, so you can defend it. So, really, what has happened is totally unjustifiable, is indefensible, and we can only apologize to the Ghanaian people that they shouldn't give up on the minority caucus in parliament. They should have faith. At least the consolation, Doc, is that more than 90, the majority of us still stuck with the Ghanaian people, and we toed the line. We were sincere. What we said we would do before the vote is actually what we did. The majority, more than 90. So sometimes you listen to the commentary, the analysis, and they're painting everybody with the same brush. Yes, I know that there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of disappointment and disillusionment, even about the entire democracy.
Even the president,
let me be also quick to urge our colleagues that instead of they being buoyant and taunting us and being so excited and all of that, they should reflect and be more sober. Because what is going on now is that you can tell clearly that the Ghanaian people have lost every hope in the MPP. They've discounted them as a basket case. That as for President Akufo-Addo and his hordes of appointees and his colleagues, his collaborators in the MPP, they don't listen. So they are now looking up to us, to the NDC, and that's why they are even more disappointed. And you see, it's a threat to our democracy. When the people give up on those in charge, write them off, that they don't listen, they are intransigent, they are obstinate, they are not bothered, and they begin to put all their trust in the opposition. And then the opposition also, elements in the opposition, begin to disappoint them. We must all be very, very worried about the consequences of that. And finally, you notice, Doc, that because of what has transpired, the president appears emboldened. I don't know if you've seen the latest annual report on the presidential staffers. For the first time, we have hit 1,000 and exceeded. There are now 1,048. So the political appointees category has gone up. And then the category of civil and public servants has also gone up.
Let's touch on the vote.
So I know we'll come to that.
That'll be the next issue.
Yes, we'll come to that later. But so you can tell clearly that the president has been emboldened by what has happened, and he's going to continue with this Yentio Bia thing, what my people will call Jimakla conduct.
Jimakla?
Yes. Okay. But to conclude, Doc, I need to place on record that the vote on the taxes would not be a secret vote. It will be public.
Why?
Because this is it's not, you see, there are limited matters if you read the constitution and standing orders. For ministers, according to order 1724, that has to be by secret vote when you are appointing them by way of a vote based on a majority decision. When you are impeaching, that's also secret vote. When you are electing a speaker, that's secret voting.
There are fewer things.
So yes, so there's very narrow, specific matters that require a secret vote. But with this one, it will be a public vote. We will all rise up and be counted. You remember in the last meeting, in the last session, the vote on VAT. We all stood up publicly, and we lost by one. One of our colleagues on emergency grounds, emergency medical grounds was not available, so we lost by one vote. So that's how this vote is going to be. We will stand up to be counted. So I think you should be measured in all your jubilation and all of that. This is different. For this one, you can't hide.
I'm begging you.
You can't hide. If it's not a secret vote where you can go and do whatever you want to do and get away with it. Because we are not sure who did it. This one, they'll mention your constituency, you get up and be counted. So at least let's find some solace there. I can only appeal to the Ghanaian people that because of this open nature of the voting, we are a bit more hopeful. At least if all our people show up, we may have a fighting chance.
So Doc, one key thing, and I would say this over and over again, we ought to also listen whilst in opposition. It's very important. And I say this for a very good reason. Many a times it has rather been the president doesn't listen. But I also think that the opposition ought to listen, in the sense that the opposition knew very well that this country cannot do without an agric ministry. This country cannot do well without a trade ministry. And more importantly, now that we're financially sick, we need more hands at the finance ministry to support and to get us out of this conundrum. So I was even of the opinion that the opposition would have come and said that, listen, let's be truthful with Ghanaians. These three key roles, which are literally replacements, we will leave the president to have his way. But then these other three will fight it out. I think that would have been a very safer ground strategically from what has happened now. And Ghanaians would not have been so peeved per the outcomes, because clearly it was three appointments that were like, that made sense. But, many times, unfortunately, the NDC has been like this or nothing at all. And that approach is not helping them. And I'll bet that if they will listen to reason and not politicize everything, what is good in the administration, they have to at least acknowledge and accept. And that is where I think that, one, the NDC was not truthful with Ghanaians from the get-go, and did not also allow some people to be heard in their fraternity. And that is how come they showed it in their voting. And I really think that in as much as they were so democratic, clearly, when they sat down, they did not give a listening ear to those voices who demonstrated by going to the ballot to do otherwise. So it is very important in looking at all of this that uncle, brother, what other word can I use? Colleague, take it to the caucus that today, when I did my diagnosis of the NDC woes, I think that the NDC also has to learn to listen to reason. It is not bravado. Just bravado we want. We need to be a listening opposition party as well. Now, I've also argued that it is the utmost requirement that we did secret ballot. But the NDC also had an opportunity when we said voice vote to do a voice vote and not contest. When we do a voice vote and you don't contest it, we'll not do a secret.
But 136 and 137 people shouting. How do you differentiate the one voice?
And my point is that that would have been less painful.
No, but Order 174,
or abstaining.
Order 174 doesn't give us that option. You see, we will have been violating the standing orders.
Haven't we walked out in violation of the standing orders before? No. Excuse me, we've done that before. I'm only saying that right now the injury is more severe if we would have maybe exited and told the Ghanaian people that unblock the NDC, this is our stand, we don't agree with it, to hell with it, whatever the NPP decides in that room, we, the NDC, are against. And that injury, Okudzeto, right now, that injury would have been...
Just point of information. Order 1724. No. Order 1724. Order 1724. The committee shall report, this is the appointments committee, the committee shall report to Parliament within 3 days after it has concluded its proceedings when Parliament is sitting. Parliamentary approval of persons recommended for appointment shall be by secret ballot.
My question to you is that, have we not walked out before?
On a matter like this?
Yes.
No, but
I mean, we have.
But when you are,
and I'm saying that the injury, per what has happened now, would have been far less.
Which injury?
Well, you
guys lost
before
a secret vote on the 5th of January.
Yes.
That's for the election of a speaker.
We've sucked it up. You understand? Some of us have to see psychiatrists for help. and as it is now, right now, both of us need it because I mean I'm a bit troubled by the loss of.
I'm sure Dr. Asari is still around.
Yes. We all need Dr. Asari in our life.
Is around.
Yes, you know I'm troubled by the loss.
I've seen them already.
The loss. You've seen them already.
Does that make you happy?
And that is why I'm even making a strong case for the NDC to allow some of their members today to go for counselling. So that they don't come in.
We can still laugh.
You know, that's the beauty of our country. Our country is fascinating. So I'll beg. And you know, this decision today is about whether we are going with the IMF program or not.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be on party lines.
Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.